Doing this is your guy Mac Allan, co-owner rather, of the magazine, booklet, and DVD publication Heaven's Edition with my business partner Too Tight, aka TV Star, who unfortunately couldn't be at an interview that he really wanted to partake in. Unfortunately, he's at class right now trying to further our business by getting a business degree so it can enhance us in different avenues. Today we are sitting down with someone that is very well acclimated, I may say, in the gospel realm of music. And if you don't know him, I'm sitting down with Joey Kibble of the famous, as I said, acclimated gospel group Take 6, who has done a lot for the gospel industry and a lot for the music industry, basically giving us the anointing through their music. Today we want to find out about Joey Kibble, who he is as a person, and Take 6, and several other things. First, we want to find out, Mr. Joey Kibble, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like your childhood upbringing, and how instrumental were your parents in your life growing up?
Well, I grew up, my brother and I, he's also in Take 6, Mark, and my sister, older sister, actually grew up in a pastor's family. So we had to relocate often. We had to change friends because it was pretty much a pastor's life, moving to the next church, going to the next city. So we moved often, but the interesting thing was we got a lot of spiritual atmosphere. There was a lot of things which you might come back to later. Just because those you have spiritual doesn't mean that he's actually in your heart. But we got a lot of that atmosphere. And so that's kind of how I was raised. You know, we were raised around music. I didn't start singing until I was 14. But my brother started early, man. He started arranging early, listening to music. You know, part of the pastor's family, you can't listen to everything. So, you know, Stevie Wonder was frowned on, definitely Earth, Wind & Fire. So he had to sneak and listen to the record. But my sister used to listen to Sister Sledge back in the day. And, you know, we listened to gospel, we listened on DL to, you know, the quote-unquote secular artists, but that's where we kind of developed our taste as far as music was concerned.
Now, growing up in a pastoral family and having the talent to be gospel artists, did your parents kind of implement the spirituality into you guys, or did it just come with God reaching out to you guys and say, I chose you? How did that play a part in your life, being a gospel artist?
You know, I think they can set the tone and they can set the atmosphere, but you have to make the decision if you're going to let him into your own life. Unfortunately, mine is also a family that was divorced. So a lot of times we saw a conflict between the two of them. And you know, some of the fighting and stuff like that, and it began to create conflicts in our minds. You know, we hear about this Jesus Christ all the time. We see something else behind closed doors, and as a child, you're like, you know, if this stuff is supposed to work, it's supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be dislodged once you come home, and then spoken once you get back into the pulpit. And so there was a lot of conflict that even now, we as adults, as children, and my parents who are now remarried are still healing from. But to answer your first question, just because you grow up in that atmosphere does not mean that you're going to suddenly take on Christ. You may have a foundation for it, but you actually have to make the decision to ask him to come in for yourself and have a personal relationship.
Now, with being acclimated artists in the industry, a lot of people know of Take 6 worldwide, but some people have the impression that people that are famous are very unapproachable, and I know that's not exactly true because I have sensed the humility and know that you are a person that humbles yourself. What type of person, so that people can't misconstrue that people that are in the industry are unapproachable, what type of person are you, Mr. Kibble, outside of music, basically, and how can we deter people from thinking that people that are famous are, you know, not approachable individuals?
I would like to think of myself as a nice person, but that's how I'd like to think of myself. That may not be what everybody thinks. Unfortunately, some of the people that believe it, for some of them, is their right. whatever a person is on the inside, when you add fame and